Welcome back guys to another video. What I've got for you today is, as you can see behind me, is a Honda Integra Type R. I mean, these cars, when they first come out, they were the best handling front wheel drive production car in the world. And to be fair, to this day, they still hold a bit of that title. They're still a great car. And the one behind me is a UK spec car, black as you can see in the colour, and it's a completely standard car, so just how Honda intended them to be. So what we'll do is we'll go for a little walk around the car and then we'll go for a little drive just to give you guys a feel of what it's all about. So yeah, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Performance Lifestyles. We're on Instagram as performance_lifestyles, and we're on Facebook as well, so Performance Lifestyles. Check us out on there, follow us on our social media accounts, help us grow. Really appreciate all the help that we're getting so far, and you know, thank you very much. So what we'll do is we'll go for a little walk around the car and yeah, we'll go for a drive. Right, here we are. As you can see, these things, I think they look absolutely stunning. They've still got a presence on the road. Everybody knows they're not, you know, overly powerful, overly torquey cars. Hondas generally aren't very torquey anyway, and especially these non-turbo ones. But I mean, these things are just fantastic. They've got quite a bit of a following going on, and I can see why. I mean, I've been a big Honda fan for many years, as you could probably tell, and as I've also been told on my previous videos. And it's yeah, these things are great. And this is a completely standard car, UK spec, so it's got the quad headlights on the front, clear indicators with side lights, which I used to get stopped by the police many years ago because people used to think I've got my fog lights on, but they weren't fog lights. And standard 15-inch wheels. I believe these wheels are made by Enkai, but again, they suit the car just fine. This one's got Toyo Proxys T1Rs, which aren't a bad tyre, to be fair. They're a very, very good sort of tyre. And the standard exhaust system, which is a rarity nowadays, because a lot of these cars have been modified quite extensively. But this is a completely standard car and looks good in my opinion. Standard spoiler again, standard red H badges, even though this one's gone a bit pinky, which is a common occurrence on most of these cars. Again, standard decals on the rear quarter, and I believe these, if you need to actually replace them, they cost a fair whack now from Honda. And again, the interior, bearing in mind this car is over 20 years old. I'll move my cap out of the way. Recaro bucket seats. These seats are absolutely fantastic. Honestly, they really hug in, they really hold you into your seat. And as the title says for these cars, these were, you know, known for the best handling production car in the world. And you most certainly need a set of seats that are going to hold you in. Momo steering wheel, which is a little bit faded on here, but you can still make out. And I believe these were supplied to Honda on license from Momo, but the Ferrari 550, I believe it was, or the 575, had the same steering wheel, but obviously with the Ferrari logo in the middle. And what these cars are, you know, infamously known for, 10,000 RPM. As standard, they'll rev to just over about 9,000 RPM, which, let's be honest, there's not many cars out there that can go to 9,000 RPM even in this day and age. So, you know, a 20 plus year old car, 9,000 RPM, perfect. Especially when the VTEC engages at about just before 6,000 RPM, they sing along perfectly fine. An induction kit exhaust makes them sound better, I'd say, but in standard form, they're still perfect. Honestly, they're still perfect cars. So yeah, back to the inside of this. Standard features, obviously, electric windows. This one's actually got the AC as well. That was an optional extra, I believe. Carbon style sort of surrounds here. Obviously, like I mentioned, the bucket seats, perfectly usable rear seats as well. So they're good for shortish people in the back, let's be honest, because the moment you put somebody 6 foot plus in there, your heads are going to be hitting the roof and it's not very comfortable. But yeah, it is. I don't think they were designed to carry passengers really, but they've just fitted the rear seats into them. And again, carbon fiber style sort of center console, the plaque with the actual number on there, titanium gear knob. And these are all standard features on a Honda Integra Type R. I mean, they're just I think they're just a great car. As you could probably tell, I'm a bit of a Honda nut, and the Integra Type R was the first ever fastish car I've ever owned. And to be fair, to this day, you know, 20 odd years later, they still put a smile on your face every time you drive them. They're just so fun to drive. And as everybody knows, you don't need a lot of power to get a fun car. I mean, you look at the Lotus Elises and the new GT86 Toyotas and Subarus at BRZ or whatever it is. And but, you know, they're not overly powerful cars. But the weight on them is kept to a minimal, and they just handle perfectly fine. They drive fine. And the Integra Type R is most certainly one of them cars. So under the bonnet then, this is where the magic happens. This is where these things are all, this is what these are all about. The B18C6 engine as found in the UK spec cars. The JDMs did have a B18. The actual thing's printed on there. The engine's a bit warm at the moment, so I'm not going to bother touching it. But yeah, that is the B18. 190 brake horsepower. The car weighs about 1100 odd kilos. So power to weight, perfect sort of figures. And as everybody knows, the rest is all history. They are mega cars. There's not really a lot going on under there. As you can see, it's a completely standard car. Standard engine, standard everything. Bearing in mind it is 20 plus years old, so it's not actually in that bad condition. It needs a couple of little bits tidying up, but again, there's far worse cars out there, and this is probably one of the tidier ones around. So yeah, so what we'll do is we'll go for a little drive and just give you guys a feel of what it's all about. And yeah, I hope you enjoy the video, guys. I really do. Check out our social media accounts and the rest of the videos on our YouTube channel. We have actually got a video of a 98 spec, which is the Japanese import Integra Type R on our channel. So please do check that out. That was actually a very nice car, and that was, to be fair, our very first video we ever did. So, you know, a few months later now, we've got another DC2 on here, and it's always a pleasure to get one of these Hondas on there. And as I've previously mentioned, I love these Hondas. These Hondas are absolutely fantastic cars. You can't beat them, you know. Even in this day and age, they're a difficult car to beat on track, especially. Straight line performance, they weren't designed for straight line power. 190 horsepower and about 1100 kilos. You're not going to be winning any competitions in straight line power. You could get diesels that are faster than these nowadays, but as a track car, as a handling sort of car, they are, you know, on the borderline of being untouchable by a lot of similarly sort of priced cars. So yeah, I hope you enjoy the video, guys, and we'll catch you out on the drive. All right, so here we are back in this DC2 Integra Type R. And now the first thing you notice on these cars is they've got that classic retro feel to them when you drive them. It's a focused car, very focused car. And like I mentioned previously, when they were first released back in, I think they were referring to 96 specs, so they were at 1996, they were known as one of the best handling front-wheel drive production cars on the planet. And they were, you know, completely blitzing more powerful cars on track. And they were just, literally, there's such an amazing sort of handling to them out of the factory. And, you know, 22, 23 years later now, I mean, I'm referring to this car, but yeah, you're talking 25 years later now from when they first started. They've still got something about them that carries this on. It's very difficult to uphold yourself for so long when it comes to performance cars, and these cars still do hold their own on a track against, you know, many far more powerful cars. So the Integra Type R is a classic car, and it can be classed as it's a car that quite literally, the prices dictate exactly how much of a good car this thing is. They handle extremely well. They don't look overly, it depends, I suppose it's a personal preference, it's a matter of opinion. I prefer the look of the 98 spec JDM cars over a UK or a 96 spec JDM. But, you know, compared to the modern cars, yeah, you could tell it's an older car. But when you drive these things on a track, they are so good. Very focused car. Creature comforts inside the car, they've got, you know, your bare essential stuff. It's got electric windows. It's got electric mirrors, and with it being a UK car, it's got air conditioning as well. I believe AC was an option on the JDM cars, but the UK cars came with air conditioning as standard. Recaro bucket seats, a Momo steering wheel, this fake carbon fibre sort of trim around the centre console, and it's a 5-speed gearbox. So after driving 6 speeds and 7s and 8s, and obviously with the autos, but with regards to manuals, after driving these 6 speeds for so long, you automatically from 5th you look, oh damn, this hasn't got 6 gears, so you put it back into 5th and you carry on. But it's the whole thing about these cars. They're just amazing cars, very, very amazing cars. My actual love for Type R started when I first seen a Integra Type R, and you know, this is before I could even drive, and I was like, wow, I want one of these cars. And I bought one not long after I passed my test many moons ago, and it was something that used to surprise, should we say, a lot of people as to how capable that car was. Still remember to this day, we used to have a couple of little runs with there's a few guys that we know with M3s, and they used to actually believe their E36 M3s were a better handling car than this, and they failed miserably. Straight line performance, yes, they were quicker, and to be fair, even back in them days, these weren't the fastest car when it as far as straight line performance went. But as soon as you put a bit of twists and a bit of turns into the equation, the Integra Type R was almost untouchable. So here we are from first gear. It's nothing like a pull you back in your seat sort of power, but fun, yes. You'll be hard pushed to find a car from that era that will give you more fun than one of these. And in all honesty, they'll still put a lot of cars of today to shame. 50 miles an hour, drop it straight into 3rd. Still going. There's not many cars out there that you could just carry on revving like that. This is the beauty of these Honda Type Rs, especially the ones from yesteryear. You know, they will rev. They will just carry on revving. If you don't change gear, they'll just carry on revving. They're a mega car. I know a lot of people go on about how Hondas have quite literally got no torque, and they're right. Hondas don't, any of these Type Rs, especially from yesteryear, the newer turbocharged ones do have quite a bit of torque on them, but with these older, the classic, the B series especially, and the K series, they don't really have a lot of torque. But as anybody that's into their Hondas or driven Hondas, you know, when it comes to a Honda Integra Type R or any of the EK9s or the Civic Type Rs or any Honda Type R, it's all about you have to start dropping gears. And these things will rev to, I mean, this one's showing 10,000 RPM, and it will rev to 9,000 RPM straight out the factory. There's not many cars even from them days that could do that. Sound deadening again, there wasn't a massive amount of sound deadening in these cars. These cars didn't weigh a lot. If I remember correctly, they were just over a ton, about 1,100 kilos, 1,150 kilos, and they produced 189 brake horsepower in the UK cars and 197 in the JDM cars. And that was all done through manifold, smaller cats, and I think a bit of a tune. But as far as the UK car goes, they're, you know, 189 brake horsepower. You can't go wrong. These things are reliable, economical, and most certainly the biggest part of these, they are fun to drive. They put the power down extremely well. I know a lot of people will say there's not a lot of power to put down, but it doesn't matter, it's all relevant to weight. and the way these cars and what these cars were designed for, they are an epic car. So here we go again. This is you could just carry on taking it to 9,000 RPM. Such an epic car. It's been a while since I last drove one, and this is almost bringing back memories from 20 odd years ago when I used to have my first one, and it was fun, to say the least. Oh, what a epic car. Driving one of these in standard form almost makes you want to buy another one. When they're modified, yes, they can be a little bit on the louder side of things. Oh, what's this guy doing? Lunatic in an Audi, taking over this side of the road as well. And you could drive it completely normal, perfectly fine. It's not loud, it's not intrusive, it's not shouting and giving you an earache. But the moment you feel like, yes, I want to go for a little bit of an enjoyable drive, a spirited drive on a Sunday morning when the roads are clear, the Integra Type R is going to be the car of choice on most weekends. Here we go. I'm actually glad I took the opportunity to video this car today. This is honestly bringing back memories from 20 plus years ago when the first one I ever bought, and it was, I mean, that one wasn't standard, that was loud. That was, it had a stainless steel exhaust system, an induction kit, suspension was all completely standard, ride height was standard, everything was just standard, but the induction and the exhaust, and that was just loud. And I had so much fun in that car, so much fun. It was, not many people had heard of Integra Type R at the time. So everywhere you go, people will just look at it and think, that's no Type R. And then they try giving you a bit of stick, and then you completely show them up. The 106 GTIs, the Citroen Saxo VTSs, VTRs. There was a lot of cars out there them days, 3 Series coupes and M3s even around, Twistys and stuff. They were finding it a bit of a struggle just to keep up with you. And I think that's where it opened up a lot of people's eyes as to, hang on a second, these things are a very, very much so a capable car. And it's bringing all their memories back. Yes, I'm going to conclude the video here. I hope you've enjoyed this little video. It was just, like I mentioned, a brief little one. I had the opportunity to video this car, so we thought, you know, yes, it needs to be done. Especially, like I mentioned previously, it's where my love of fast cars, like first performance car, was a DC2. So yes, why not? Subscribe to our YouTube channel for more performance car reviews, performance lifestyles. We're on Instagram as well, performance_lifestyles, and we're on Facebook as well, performance lifestyles. Check us out. We've got plenty of videos uploaded on our channel already, and we've got plenty of other content to come. So yeah, please do check them out. Click on the bell notification just so you know when we've uploaded something, and give us a thumbs up if you like the video. So yeah, like I mentioned, I hope you've enjoyed the video. And what we will do is we'll catch you on the next one.